Morning. We're on our morning run right now. We're here with Loki, the world's fittest dog, and I do believe that he's the world's fittest dog. But we haven't done a long form YouTube video in a while. I kind of want to film it while I'm running because I have some free time right now. We're doing a 3 to 4 mile weighted fast run. It's about 9 in the morning. We got up late. Supposed to get up around 6 o'clock, 6:30, and do more work, but it's besides the point. But I want to talk about why I run and what it does for me. The big thing here, honestly, for me, is while running, for one, makes me feel good. That's a big thing. I feel better when I run. It's like my form of therapy. I did some research on it, and BDNF is a protein that's released in your brain when you work out, especially, let's take a pause, for during long forms of cardio. So running, cycling, biking, hitting heavy bag, that helps. So it's release and it's for neuroplasticity. So what that does is it helps the neurons in your brain stretch and reprogram. So the brain is plastic. You can rewire your brain for new tasks and skills you're trying to adopt. So essentially, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. My dog's 16 years old, and I've taught him a couple more tricks. So like when you try to learn a new skill, like for instance, I stopped Kung Fu for a while, and I got back into it a couple years ago, and the first month was somewhat like tough. Then month 2 and 3, it was like riding a bike again. The sparring has got even better because I remember what I used to know, and adding, my speed, strength, and endurance with that has made it even better. So your brain is able to adapt. That's how we kind of gotten this far as mammals. It's from that ability to adapt. So that's number one reason. It makes you feel good. Number 2, this guy right here. I have 2 dogs. They're big dogs. He's a pit bull lab. And my other dog is a German Shepherd lab, and it's an excuse to get them out and exercise. If I run or walk 3 to 4 miles, I can take them with me, get their exercise in. So it's not an excuse. I mean, if you have dogs, you should walk on them, exercise. They live for this. My dogs live for this. We had that smog smoke warning the last couple days, and you could tell it was complete hell for my dogs. They could have been outside. They hated it. And even my 6-year-old dog, he loves to walk, he loves to run. So it's good for him. I need to pause this right now. So I'm running towards a trail near my house. They're doing construction nearby. But yeah, I mean, your dogs need exercise. So if you have a dog, that's another honorable mention reason. Another reason, it gives me time to think about my day, about what I have to do for the day. So in the morning, before my son gets up, my wife gets up, gives me time to think about what I need to do for me for work, myself for school, my wife, what family obligations I have, what community obligations I have. So it gives me time to kind of think about that. And honestly, I think I'm thinking better because there's blood rushing. It's not like I'm thinking about this stuff in a state of fog as soon as you wake up. I really do believe that motion is lotion. Also adding the sun, the vitamin D, I feel 10 times better. And I feel a lot more sharp. And also that's the BDNF. Able to think a lot clearer. The other thing, honestly, is the fitness aspect. I'm also a firefighter. I gotta pause here. The fitness aspect. I'm also a firefighter in Moon Township, and cardio is one of the big threes when it comes to firefighting. It's like cardio, strength, and endurance. Well, that's terrible to say. Cardio, speed, and strength. You kind of need all three. You need like the explosive speed, you need the overall strength, and also you need kind of the overall endurance, keep on going. And that's like one pillar of it. So kind of I can knock out the endurance and the speed in both, in this aspect. I can do sprints, I can do long distance, so it helps with that aspect of it. The fitness part, it's lowering my blood pressure, maintains weight. I can sweat out all the evils of the night before. If you had a shitty night of eating, we got a couple of drinks, I can sweat this out. But one of the most important things about running that no one really talks about is like exploration, exploring nature. You know how many trails I found from like running or new places? When we first moved from our first apartment to our second apartment, I didn't have a running trail. So I found random places to run. Then I ran past an office park, and I found our favorite Mexican restaurant there. And we've been going there ever since. We brought our friends there, so that aspect is awesome. You can explore. When I go on vacation, with my family, I've been to California a couple times, and like the neat stuff that I found, running on the beach, running in town, coffee shops, a lunch spot. So like, that's the best part. But another thing that I love about running that's kind of like understated is community aspect. I've met so many friends and joined so many groups from running, doing races. Coolest thing was the Tough Mudder. That community, helping people get through obstacles, see people camping there. All the long marathon races I did, the Pittsburgh half marathon, like that community, seeing everyone excited, high five, shake hands. That's awesome. Running is a very strong, non-toxic community for the most part. I mean, you have, your influencers that like post, oh, it's a relaxed run. If I ran a 7:15 mile, it's like, all right, dude, whatever. But for the most part, very supportive. A mile's a mile, no matter how fast, how slow you run it. If you ran a 5-minute mile, there's a 12-minute mile. It's still the same distance, So like, overall, I think it's a very supportive community. That's another reason why I love it. That's like unmatched. I do boxing, kickboxing, archery, all that stuff. But like, this is like one of the strongest communities I have, being a runner. And finding that group of people, because like, it's a weird thing. I mean, people hate it. So you're finding your commonality against a task that's normally daunting to most people. So those are the reasons why I run, and that's what keeps me going, And if you need help running, comment below for one. Two, find a group of people, find a running club, or ask one of your friends to like come with you and do a walk run. I mean, start off slow and work your way up. This is the one sport where you'll see the impact of being consistent, because you improve your endurance so quickly by running. If you ran in one day, on day 30, you'll see a huge difference. So be consistent, keep on going. You will enjoy the process. But also, if running's not your thing, find a cardio you like. Biking, Peloton, sprints, boxing, you know, playing basketball, playing pickleball. You know, find a cardio that works for you. Because trust me, you'll find the same benefits. But that's the video. I'm gonna finish this run. Have a good Monday. Out.